What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Handy Hunter. Today we're talking about building hoods for your cell cameras and your trail cameras. Now, if you guys have seen some of my other videos, I've always used hoods on my trail cameras. I started with small hoods on my little Browning cameras, and I learned a long time ago that having those hoods protect your cameras from the UV rays of the sun, and it also gives you great pictures and video during pouring down rain or bad weather. It'll also keep your lens from fogging up as bad on those foggy mornings where the dew will set on your lens, and then it's noontime before your lens dries up before you start getting normal pictures. This will help with all of that. These are crazy cheap to build. They're really easy to build. I'm going to show you how to build this. You're going to get 2 of these from one 5-gallon bucket, about a $3 bucket. You're going to get 2 of these, and I'm going to show you how to paint them as well. Just like this, it's crazy simple to paint the camo on here like this, and it will last a long time because it's plastic, and it'll protect your camera for many years to come. Now, one of the things is, you're probably wondering, why is that one so big? All my other trail camera hoods were very small. The reason I bumped up in size on these is because when you get to these cell cameras, you've got to either deal with a stick antenna on here, or you have to deal with, you know, a corded antenna that would run up here and mount up here for like an omnidirectional antenna, which is what I run on this camera, but it's over there and not here. But basically what a big hood like this allows you to do is, if you have a stick antenna, you've got a couple of options. That is, you build a hood and you cut a hole in it, and then you set this down over it. I don't recommend doing that, but if you build a bigger hood, you can put it higher on here, and you're still going to get the protection for your camera, and you're going to be able to get your antenna underneath the hood, which will work just perfect. So the bigger the hood, the higher you can move it, and you'll still get protection. So I'm going to drill a couple of pilot holes here to get this started, and then I'll just put my lag bolts in here. I've got a couple of holes in the back of that, and then I've got my lag bolts with a couple of fender washers that I'll put on the front and back side, and I'm going to use probably about it's 1.5 inch lag bolt, just like that. So that's going to be plenty sufficient to hold this to the post. So anyway, guys, stick around. I'll show you exactly how to build these and paint them, but I'm going to get this one installed, so stay tuned. There you go, that's perfect. Nice. Doesn't affect my motion detection here at all. Very cool. Now I just need to go get all my solar panel stuff and finish this out. And that's some good protection right there.
So today I'll be using a 5-gallon bucket, but you can choose a bucket of any size based on your project. Now, these buckets are available anywhere at Home Depot or Lowe's, and most 5-gallon buckets have these tabs on the bottom that make a great reference point for splitting the bucket in half. You can also use the handle on the side as a good reference as well to allow you to draw good straight lines so that you get even hoods on both sides. I generally just take a straight edge, run it down the side, and I also go across the bottom as well, and then this makes it very easy to cut quickly, and you've got 2 perfect halves. Then you'll take some needle nose pliers and remove the handle from both sides. So now we're ready to cut the bucket in half. I tend to use a jigsaw because it's quick, easy, and convenient, but you can use any sawing method that works for you based on the tools that you may have available. This doesn't take long, and it's really easy, and if you follow the lines, you get 2 perfect halves. Now we'll want to cut the top part of the bucket off just below the rib to shorten the hood. Next, I like to take the bottom of a spray can and just draw rounded corners on each of the sides where the corners are. This will allow you to have nice smooth corners. Take your jigsaw or your saw and trim it off and make them nice and round. Now just one more step before we're ready for painting. The next step is to draw a line down the center of the back side of the hood. This is where we're going to drill our holes to put our lag bolts. You want to be careful not to drill your holes too close to the edges because you have wide fender washers that you're going to need some room for when you put your lag bolts through. So the paint we're going to start with is a self-etching primer. You can get this at Home Depot or Lowe's most of the time. If not, like an advanced auto parts place will have it, but it's twice as expensive. And it's a really good paint that allows sticking on slippery surfaces. It's mainly made for metal, but it works really well on plastic for me. You'll want to dust 2 light coats onto this hood until you get a solid coat of green and you can no longer see any blue. Now you're going to take flat black paint and you're going to spray large blotches on your hood. I typically spray the top, the back, and underneath it as well. And you just want to make nice big round blotches. It's as simple as that. No need to complicate it, but you'll see how this turns out in just a minute. So once they've dried, you're going to want to find like a palm limb or a pine tree limb or a limb off your favorite bush, and you're going to want to use that as a contrast that you're going to spray on top of. I have a palm limb here, and I am spraying the black on top of the green. And it's key to note here that you're spraying opposite colors on top of each other. So black will go on top of green and green will go on top of black next. But this is a really light dusting. You're only very lightly hitting the button on the spray can because you just want a very light coat of accent. It's really simple. And then the next step is to take the original green primer color, and we're now going to go over the black. We're spraying, just lightly dusting over our contrast in the areas of black. Real simple and easy. It doesn't take long and the paint dries really quick. Keep in mind that you don't want to do too much because the more you do, it just gets busier looking and you tend to lose a little bit of your nice looking camo pattern. So in the next step, we're actually going to be adding a third accent layer, which is really what I call a spritz. And I typically use a light colored gray primer, a Rust-Oleum primer, and you're basically going to spritz this. This is about as short as you can press the button on this spray can. And if you do too much, you'll be redoing your hood altogether. So it's just really a very, very light spritz of spray across your contrast, and that is all you need. It doesn't take long to do this, and it really adds a nice accent layer, and it makes it look nice and finished. So the last and final step is putting a coat of matte clear coat on the hoods. I typically get this at auto parts stores. It's very pricey, but it's very durable and it creates a really protective coat on plastic. I hope you guys found this video helpful today. Good luck in your projects, and let me know if you need anything. Shoot me an email or leave some comments and I'll be glad to get back to you when I can. Thanks for watching.